You know, Brian, when I got into business, the first mattress I had was cardboard wrapped in old homeless bums' handkerchiefs.
Oh, come on. That can't be true.
It's not. But anyway, I just thought it'd make a good story. Speaking of making a good
What
story.
a carny. What a carny this guy is.
Speaking of making a good story, I got this email from Ron DeShane. Oh, Rhonda, writing in again. No, Ron DeShane is his name. Gentlemen, thought you might enjoy this lovely story. It brought a smile to my face and warmed the cockles of my heart. I've always thought highly of Miss Elizabeth, but never more so than now. And he sent me a link to an interview on some sports keto website where our favorite shit stain was telling a story about his interaction with Miss Elizabeth during the WCW days. Would you like to just hear this one little brief excerpt of this?
Yeah, I don't remember too much about that period of time. I wasn't watching too much WCW, so I don't even know they had interaction.
Well, and so many other people weren't watching it either. So, and just for the new listeners, I'll say it once. Shit stain is Vince Russo. The taste in my mouth that comes up when that happens. Anyway, so Shit stain is quoted as saying, I had to go down to ringside, scoop her up, and walk her in the back. Russo said, oh shit, I said it again. So I go out there, I scoop her up. Bro, I swear to God, bro. She slapped me across the face and dislocated my jaw. Bro, the hardest I've ever been hit in my life was by Liz. I swear she disdained me. She let me know she didn't like me. And Ron goes on to say, I wanted to know if Jim had any other stories about talent physically assaulting our favorite overgrown New York sewer rat, or is Liz the only one that managed to get a shot in? Well, I, like you, Brian, was not watching WCW at that point in time, but we know that Goldberg, I guess, was the one who speared him through the cage wall when he was wearing the goofy football helmet, and he claimed he got a concussion from that. And I mean, you know, when you take a completely unathletic, buggy-whipped armed idiot that's never been trained in any way, shape, or form and doesn't have any mental understanding of what wrestling is or is supposed to look like, chances are they're going to get hurt no matter what they do. But he shouldn't have been physically interacting with anybody anyway because he wasn't equipped for it. He couldn't take bumps. He couldn't work. He couldn't do offense, and he didn't know how to protect himself. But as far as I know, those are the only two people that ever got a shot in on him. However, the reason why I even bothered to read this story and even give him any oxygen is because, Brian, I don't know whether we haven't told it on the show since you've been my co-host, because I've been telling this story for 35 years. So I don't just bring it out annually or whatever. But it's on shoot interviews that I've been doing going back as far as shoot interviews have been done. I think it was first printed in one of the newsletters during the Smoky Mountain Wrestling days. But I know for a fact, I don't know that I ever told this in front of Shitstain, but I know for a fact I told this story in front of Bruce Pritchard one day. And it sounds remarkably similar, the story that Shitstain just told, to the story that it was involved in with Baby Doll. Have you heard my Baby Doll story?
I think so. I think I remember the story you're talking about, where you were backing up at ringside.
Well, no, no, that was when she punched me in the back of the fucking head. We put a videotape out on Twitter of that a few years ago when Paul Ellering was chasing me around the ring in Raleigh and Baby Doll was late. So I had to take an extra fucking loop. And then when I saw her coming, I was backing up to her so I could turn around and nail me. But since she was panicked because she was late, she, at a dead run, drove her fist straight into the back of my skull and knocked my brains out. No, this was when she dislocated my jaw with a slap. Remarkably similar to this story. We're in St. Louis. It's the Midnight Express, me, Bobby Eaton, Dennis Condrey, in a cage match at the Great American Bash against Baby Doll, Dusty Rhodes, and Magnum TA. And the tease is the boys are going to get, I think it was Magnum down for a second, and I'm going to tag in, and I'm going to go to drop an elbow or do something, and Magnum's going to move. I land. He tags Baby Doll, and when I get up, there's Baby Doll, because people want to see Baby Doll get their hands on me. And the spot that I called with her, because I don't know if everybody's aware of this or not, but Baby Doll was never trained to work. And Baby Doll at the time, this was 1986, if she didn't outweigh me by 10 pounds, we were the same height, the same weight. And she was the women's high school shot put champion in Lubbock, Texas at one point. And so I called the spot beforehand. I said, when I get up and turn around and you're there, draw back and swing and go to slap me, and I will jump backwards and fall on my ass and crawl and tag the boys, because it's not time for her to get a hold of me. That was the finish, right? The finish is when she gets a hold of me. It's not time yet. So I drop the elbow. Magnum rolls over, tags her in. I come up selling my arm and turn around, and the slap that she was supposed to miss right in front of my face, she clocked me. She's right-handed, so she hit me on the left side of the face. My jaw popped out. I go backwards. I'm seeing sparkly things. The jaw clacks back in. And I meekly roll over and tag Bobby in, or try to. And when I put my hand up, Bobby said, "Fuck you. I don't want to get in there." And for 3 or 4 days, I couldn't chew, because when the jaw dislocates, it's right next to your ear. Have you ever had this happen?
No.
Okay, it's right next to your ear, and it comes out of whatever the hinge is there. And like I said, mine popped back in, but that does create some issue inside your jaw that it's sore for a while. And then after that, for about 10 or 12 years after that, it made a clicking noise every once in a while, especially if I yawned real wide. So one day, when I were at Vince's, me and Bruce Pritchard, I can't remember whether Shit Stain was there or not, because I put that out of my head times when I had to be in the same room with him. But I remember me and Bruce talking about the girls, and we're booking the girls anyway. And Luna was there, and Miss Texas, Jacqueline is who the WWE fans know her as. And they were both able to take care of themselves. And we're talking about, I was telling stories because somehow we started talking about the girls and who was stiff amongst the girls and who was stout amongst the girls. And I was telling a story. I'd seen Jackie in Memphis just beat the piss out of Brandon Baxter in a working way. But God, it was like he owed her trans. And Luna could get carried away also. But I told a story about Baby Doll dislocating my jaw, and I remember showing him making him listen to the snapping sound. So all of a sudden, all these years later, I'm not saying he's lying, but it's awful coincidental that my arch enemy is the only other person I've ever heard of that gets their jaw dislocated by a slap from a girl in a wrestling match. Do you smell the smell of rotten eggs here, Brian?
I'm reading breaking news. Here's an article here. Vince Russo on the night I fell off the scaffold.
Hey, come on now. Anyway.
He was supposed to be caught by Jeff Jarrett, but Jeff saw a guy with money in the crowd and went the other way.
I wonder how many people, if you had 1,000 people in the wrestling business, I wonder how many would actually stand there and try to break that idiot's fall. 12? What do you think?